episode, I welcome Henk Boelman from Microsoft. Okay, to start off, let's talk about you. Can you introduce yourself, tell us what you do, and where you are located?
Yes. Hi, Kate. Thank you so much for having me on your Club 15 Clubhouse. My name is Henk Boelman and I live in a small village called Driebergen. And that is located in the center of the Netherlands. I work for Microsoft from this office as a cloud advocate.
What does a developer advocate like you do, and what area of technology do you focus on?
So my job is to help everyone to be successful with AI on Azure. I do this by talking about it on technical conferences, making videos, writing blogs, and creating workshops. And finally, I also talk to a lot of people, and I take everything I learn back to the people who actually make our AI projects. And this way, we make sure that we at Microsoft make what our users actually want.
That's great. Okay, so were you interested in technology as a kid?
Oh, yes, I was, as far as I remembered, interested in everything that looked like a computer. My dad worked in computers, so I was really lucky to have access to that all when I was growing up. Of course, without any internet, because that just wasn't there when I was small. So it was just that box with a small disk. And because there was no internet when I was a little bit older, me and my friends, if we wanted to play a game together, we had to ask our parents to bring us with our computers to a physical room in someone's house. And then we have to connect all the cables because there was no Wi-Fi. And then after a few hours, we were able to play a very slow game. But it
Wow.
was the best.
When people talk about artificial intelligence or AI, is that the same thing as machine learning?
When most people think about AI, they think about AI like in movies, like mostly human looking robots that act like real human beings or even like superhuman beings. But we imbued computers with all this magical thinking, but that image of AI is completely wrong. At the moment, we are actually in the phase that it is called narrow AI. And this AI is just mad. It is good, or sometimes extremely good, in doing one single thing. Let's say it can detect if it is like a basket, like on your background, or not. Those small problems it can solve really, really well. But let's take a look back about where it all started. So AI started with a meeting at the Dartmouth Math Department in 1956. That is like 65 years ago. And the people at that meeting got to decide what the field was. And they came up with a description. It is the science and engineering of making intelligent machines. And when they thought about intelligence, they thought that could be demonstrated by the ability to play and win games. And in this case, it was chess. The computer beating stronger chess players started happening in the late 80s, and that was defined as an intelligent machine. But we all know there are many kinds of intelligence and not only playing chess. So, how does machine learning fit in within this big AI space? Because the definition of AI is very wide. So you have this big AI field, and machine learning is a subset. And you can see it as a way of making machines look intelligent. And I like to explain machine learning always like this. It is giving your computer the ability to learn without explicitly programming it. And at the moment, there are two ways how you can program a computer. One of them is more like a recipe. You tell your computer, do this, do this, do this, do this. And that has always been the way how we've been programming computers from the beginning. The second way is feeding computers lots of data, like we give it lots of examples. And by looking at that data, it creates that recipe for us. So based on the data that you give the computer is creating that recipe for you.
Wow. And that's my generation who needs to learn how this technology is working and learn how to tell the computer what to do. So that's really cool. And I'm learning that right now too. Okay, so how is machine learning being used to save animals out in the wild?
Yes, machines are very good for outsourcing tasks. They don't sleep, they're really fast, they're way faster in math than at least than me. And when they're powered on, they can do their job. So deploying these machines in remote areas to monitor what is going on gives us, as humans, a lot of extra eyes on the ground. And when we give these machines little brains, they can respond to certain situations. So these machines can do many things for us. With all the different types of machine learning, you can give these machines eyes so they can see what is going on, ears to listen, and a mind to respond to what they hear and see. So using machine learning, we would be able to look at the camera feed and detect a poacher and inform the rangers in the park.
Yes, and I know one of the main things that's being used to help save animals is camera traps because they're capturing the poachers in action so we can help save the animals. And you can actually go to the learning lab that you provided. Thank you so much for it. And people can actually learn how these camera traps are working and get their hands on the technology that is saving animals. Okay, so how did you figure out how this works? And how did you teach a machine to think like a human?
Yes. So if you want to learn about AI, how it works, you should just go to study it in the university. There you will learn all the math that is involved and all the different methods there are, or maybe even come up with a new way of teaching machines. And one thing you have to remember is that machines can't think. The only thing they can do is make a guess based on something you have told it before. So machines are very good at the moment in doing a single task, like saying, this is a car, this is a train. How most of the machine learning works is providing the computer with a lot of samples. Like, here are 1,000 images of an apple, here are 1,000 images of a banana, here are 1,000 images of a car, and it will learn from the examples you give it.
You helped Club 15 set up its very first learning lab. That is about computer vision on Azure. Can you explain what computer vision is?
Computer vision is giving your computer the ability to see what is on an image. And this we are going to do in the lab with a Microsoft service called Custom Vision.
When kids click on the Microsoft Learning Lab that you built for my website, kidscansaveanimals.com, what will they be doing and what will they be learning?
In the lab, we go step by step on how you can create your own computer vision model. I've created an example for you that you can see the difference between fruit. And that you can run on your mobile phone. So at the end of the lab, you can try it yourself and see how it works. When you then know how it works, you can give it other images. So you can create your own vision trap, animal trap. What were they called?
Camera traps, yes, that is.
Camera traps, yes.
Yeah, that's so amazing. I can't thank you enough for providing that. It's really teaching kids about technology and how cameras work. Okay, where else can kids my age go to learn more and to really get their hands on this kind of technology?
There are so many places where you can learn nowadays about programming and machine learning. A good and fun way to learn about programming is Minecraft education. There are also a lot of great initiatives around the globe like Girls Who Code. And at Microsoft we have Microsoft Learn, where you can learn all about machine learning on Microsoft Azure.
Thank you so much for joining us today. And it really is up to my generation to learn this technology and learn how it's saving animals so we can take action. And everybody, click on the links to learn more about the Learning Lab and really get your hands on the technology that's saving animals. Hank, thank you so much for joining us today. It was great learning about everything you do and how technology is saving animals.
Let's go! Kids can save animals. Oh, yeah. Kids can save animals.
Advocacy has no age limit.